So that's what's live right now.
This is what's
this
live.
Is monitoring the stream.
Okay.
There's a delay.
Okay.
It's probably
Turn off the Hello.
How you doing?
I'm doing all right.
Oh, okay.
Boy, what are the odds of seeing you behind the camera?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Yeah, I was I said I would do a live stream for D's Court of Honor, and I do Ian and Liesl as well.
You don't have to use
Well,
that.
David's home tomorrow.
That's fun.
How's school going?
So it's gonna go
Are you
this way.
schooling or are you
So scout tender for the second.
I'm schooling right now.
You're schooling right now.
Yeah, but it's rough with online learning.
Oh, David hates online.
Oh, it's miserable.
David has determined that in-person classes with social distancing on hybrid schedule is okay.
And then
But at least he sees his professor.
presentation will be right here.
Classes where he's in person, but synchronous online, those are less desirable. Asynchronous offline, he hates.
Yeah,
Those are, he said, are
it's
by far
miserable,
the
and
worst,
I
worst of any class. He said it's like doing youth protection training month after month after month.
Yeah.
And he gets about as much out of it, so.
Yeah,
He's very much
that's very
looking
true.
forward to, not being, so he's home, he's got a couple more weeks to talk and exams, and then he doesn't know what's going on. Are you staying in Cincinnati?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I never leave home except for things like this because I mean, I work from home and I do
So
school.
presumably you go out and do grocery shopping.
Well, yeah, but aside from that, I can count on one hand the number of times I've been to campus this semester. So.
This is just to tell you whose it is.
It's what it is.
Yeah.
That's the lecture you get.
Everyone's asking me to go pass fail, but I think the College of Business at UC did go pass fail.
Yeah.
But
There's
the College of Engineering hasn't.
There's something to be said for that. Certainly for, let's put it this way, I would certainly say for elective classes, that makes sense. I can understand where for your core classes, they might still need a grade, but, if you're talking
Well, they did it in
about,
spring, so.
well, that was because everything was, basically hit that. It all hit the fan and the fan was spinning real fast and it just went everywhere.
Yep.
Where? That's right. But what kind of
We did order Chinese for dinner. No, that's the other thing I did. I sewed.
That wasn't on there yesterday.
Hello, everyone. Can everyone please stand for the presentation of the colors? Scout attention. Color guard, advance. Color guard, prepare to post the colors. Post the colors. Scout right hand salute. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And the scout, please join me in the scout oath. On my honor, I do my duty to God and my country, to obey the scout law, to help other people at all times, keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight. And the scout law. A scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and irreverent. 2. You may take your seats. Chief Carter, could you hop up here to do the invocation?
Please prepare yourself in a manner which you're accustomed. Great Scoutmaster, we stand before you tonight in awe of your glory and in gratitude for all your blessings. We thank you for bringing us together as a family of Scouts, gathered to celebrate the accomplishments of Liesl and attaining the rank of Eagle Scout. We ask your blessings on Liesl, her family, and the Scouts, leaders, friends, and guests who are assembled here today and joining us virtually. Use this ceremony to inspire vision and to encourage others to follow the Eagle path. Amen.
Would all the Scouts for the Trail to Eagle please come forward?
Now, far away stands the Eagle Summit. To the newcomer, they are a long way off, but they will come a lot closer as the light from the spirit of scouting continues to spread. Do you remember when you were the new scout and the thought of becoming an Eagle seemed a long way to travel or even an impossible goal to achieve? Look back at the experiences you have encountered in your striving to reach this high achievement. These experiences should not be forgotten. You should profit by making sure the adverse ones do not occur again. Experience is a valuable teacher if you will heed its lessons. All the while you were on the trail, we watched you study and we watched you learn by doing. First, you were only a scout. I am the scout. My badge represents the International Brotherhood of Scouting, which I have joined. Do you remember when you took your first step upon the trail to become an Eagle? You began your journey on February 1st, 2019, when females were invited into scouting. With that first step, you began to grow physically, mentally, and morally. Soon you had attained the tenderfoot rank. Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, Scout. I am the Scout. My badge represents the International Brotherhood of Scouting, which I have joined. Do you remember when you took your first step upon the trail to becoming an Eagle? You began your journey on February 1st, 2019, when females were invited into scouting. With the first step, you began to grow physically, mentally, and morally. Soon you had attained the tenderfoot rank. I'm the tenderfoot Scout. My 3 points stand for the 3 points of the Scout Oath: duty to God and to the country, duty to other people, and duty to yourself. You will find me on the mariner's compass, forever pointing the way to the North Star and a safe journey in life. On my face are 2 stars representing truth and knowledge. The shield is an emblem of a nation molded together in justice, and an eagle guards the freedom of my land. Once inspired by the spirit in the scouting, you will not stay a tenderfoot for long. Putting a simple achievement behind you, you quickly climb to the rank of 2nd class Scout.
Second class. I'm the 2nd class Scout. The ends of my scroll are turned up in the willing smile of a scout. On my face is the motto, be prepared, and suspended from me is the knot tied to remind you of the slogan of the Scouts BSA, do a good turn daily. Some were stopping to catch their breath before continuing along the trail. You began to study more. You worked harder, and almost before you knew it, topped the first summit on the trail to Eagle when you received the 1st class badge.
First class. I am the 1st class Scout. I was a tenderfoot and laid my course by the stars of truth and knowledge, and girded myself with the righteousness of justice and freedom. I added a smile that I might be a friend to all, and bound myself together with the knot of duty to others. There, some were tempted by a green meadow next to a crystal clear stream bathed in the sun. Here, you didn't hesitate and continued on your journey full steam. Yes, you could have remained there to live the 1st class glory, but your ambition stirred you on. Remember your advancement to Star Scout.
I am the Star Scout. I choose my own path. Now I take on a larger leadership role. Before lies a horizon of endless opportunities. The trail from 1st class to Star rank was not as difficult as it had seemed. This spurred on you, and again you climbed farther. The trail was steeper and less worn. Fewer scouts seemed to be headed in your direction. You looked down and saw the crowds below you. You looked up and saw a few above you. And with the same determination which you started your climb, you continued up the trail. Gaining the next summit was set in your mind. Much leadership, service, and hard work had to be done. Soon, you earned the badge of life rank.
I am the Life Scout. I have shown the whole world that scouting is in my heart. I have mastered the knowledge of subjects that will benefit my country and my fellow man. I am ready to reach for my wings to fly. While the Life Scout is a much coveted position, it deserves much credit. The Eagle Trail does not stop there. It still leads on to the summit. Its pathway narrows and steepens considerably as it winds its way along the narrow ledge. It becomes tougher and more trying. Many things have been done in order to conquer these last miles. Additional merit badges were earned. Your leadership and service to others were tested through your Eagle Scout project. Only those with the greatest amount of persistence and courage are able to gain this thrill of victory. You are on your way to Eagle.
I am the Eagle Scout. From the beginning of time, you have viewed me as a symbol of loyalty, power, victory, and valor. My strength and courage has inspired men throughout the ages. Yes, we have watched your character unfold, leadership experience, and wisdom increase. We have watched all these things in you, and now we welcome you. For you have done your training in a clear Scout way. You had to be fast-paced, but you managed to enjoy your journey along the way. You were your first year performing it helped set the foundation for a solid thinker. You start nationally leadership training, and when we get finished here, you led your crew at summer camp and came back the next day to staff for 3 weeks. You welcome new Scout into your camp as you cover the role of crew guide. You became a mentor as you grew in experience. Here you are today.
Next up, we have a video poem with Isla Carshel.
Give me a scout that will be strong enough to know when they are weak, and brave enough to face themselves when they are afraid, who is proud and undaunted in honest defeat, but humble in gentle victory. Give me a scout whose heart is clear and whose goals are high, who will learn to master themselves before they try to master others, who has learned to laugh but has not forgotten how to weep. A scout who will look to the future, yet never forget the past, who has enough sense of humor that they will always be serious. Give me a scout with humility, to learn that to know oneself is the foundation stone of all knowledge, who has not followed the paths of ease and comfort, but has solidly faced the trials of challenge, who has learned to stand up to the teeth of the storm, and who has learned to accept the passion for those who fail, who has knelt to give sympathy to those who cannot help themselves. Give me a scout who so stands before their fellow man that their scoutmaster dares to whisper, "I have not lived in vain." And when you find this scout, they bear the mark of an eagle. Give me a scout that will be strong enough to know when they are.
Would Scoutmaster Mr. Crocker come up to say a few words about this?
Welcome, everybody. I've known Liesl since she was 14 and joined the crew. My early impression of her was that she was perhaps a bit shy, but she always seemed very enthusiastic about Scouts. She was always smiling when I saw her and always very polite. Although I didn't get to know her very well in those couple of years, I do know that she and Dasha became friends quickly. At that time, Dasha was sort of becoming an unofficial crew member because she wasn't yet old enough, and I always appreciated that Liesl helped her feel at home and welcome. Then, when we learned that BSA would soon be welcoming girls into the new program, Scouts BSA, Liesl was an early recruit to the new troop that she would help found. She jumped at the chance to work toward Eagle Scout, and she had a well-defined roadmap to get there. From the very beginning of her journey to Eagle, it was clear to me and to others that she would get there. All that remained was time and just checking off the rank requirements and achieving them. Liesl was a leader within the troop from the very beginning. The other scouts looked to her for her expertise and experience, and Liesl never missed an opportunity to mentor a younger scout or help someone with a requirement. Despite her own tight schedule to earn Eagle, she was always there to teach, guide, and support the rest of the troop. The scouts in our troop simply adore Liesl. Many of them are here today. Taylor and Claire and Penny and Raya and Kira and Dasha and Raya. Raya twice. She really likes her. Because of this and because they knew she was strongly dedicated to their success and to the troops, she was chosen by her peers to be the first senior patrol leader. And she accepted the weight of that responsibility with her usual cheer. As I got to know Liesl better and as she gained experience in leadership training, Liesl shifted from the shyer person I used to know to the strong, organized, confident person that she is today. Liesl, with her commitment to the Scouts of Troop 237, is directly responsible for its early success. I'm a better Scoutmaster because of her, and the current youth leaders of 237 here today have chosen to lead because of her example. If I had to name one thing that summarizes why Liesl deserves to be an Eagle Scout, it's this. When it became clear that Liesl and Dasha would be on a nearly identical track to both becoming Eagles, Liesl did not try to gain an edge on Dasha. Instead, she made it clear to the rest of us that it was important to her that she and Dasha become co-first Eagle Scouts of Troop 237. She didn't have to be first. It was more important to her that they both earn Eagle simultaneously. So they each had their boards of review on the same night. When the time came, they stood in front of the board together, and they were announced together as Eagle Scouts. And that kind of grace and humility exemplifies some of the many reasons why Liesl has proven to all of us that without a doubt she deserves this honor. Liesl, as you accept these accolades today, you stand on the shoulders of your parents and your family and all the other Eagle Scouts here and all of those who have supported you in your journey. But as one of the very first female Eagle Scouts, you have blazed the trail for those younger girls to come who will someday stand on your shoulders as Eagles. You've set an example for your troop mates and given them the courage and belief that they too can achieve what you have done, and that is a great gift.
All right, now would Scoutmaster Mr. Morrison come up to say a few words about Liesl.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thanks for the time. You'll find some eerie similarities between what I might say and what you heard from Conan, and it has nothing to do with the fact that we did this together. I think it just has to do with an impression that's just the truth. My first impressions of Liesl were actually very similar. I didn't know Liesl or the Carters well before my son Jake's joined Troop 236. It's pretty clear from the slideshow, if you had a moment to see that, there's a strong similarity between all the Carter siblings. And one day she showed up at the crew meetings. And I noticed, because I was one to stand in the back. I do merit badge counseling and things like that. So I'm not an upfront leader in 236, but I made sure I was there all the time. Liesl was someone who had a spark about her. It was, I don't know exactly how to describe it, maybe enthusiasm, maybe charisma, but it was something that drew other people to her, even in those early days. Fast forward ahead to February of 2019, and that spark was still there. As Conan mentioned, Liesl was one of our founding members, excuse me, along with many of the folks in the room. She wanted to be part of something different, part of something great. And I think early on, she made the conscious decision, along with the help of her peers, to be someone that would help make it great. Liesl accepted kind of the mantle of leadership from her peers gladly. She stepped up, and from that point forward, there's a characteristic that I could see much more clearly, and that was a desire to learn. And this is excuse me, a characteristic of a lot of the leaders I've seen throughout my life. It's not just to learn for herself. Of course, there's a huge benefit to that, and I'm sure she enjoys it, but it was to learn so she could share with others and make them better. And I think she has shown that every step of the way along the trail, and with every scout that she encounters, and every adult as well. She's a role model for the scouts. She's one that drives them forward by example and by that spark of enthusiasm, by the charisma that she naturally has, but also just a love of leading. And that, I think, is what characterizes so many Eagles, and you in particular, Liesl. I guess I can only say that it's been a true honor to work with her as part of Troop 237, and I hope you carry that characteristic forward. It'll serve you well in life as you go forward in all areas.
Would Venturing Advisor Mr. Staffhouse please come up to say a few words about Liesl?
So some of what I've got to say is no different than what Don and Conan have already talked to you about, because it's fairly obvious that Liesl has all these skills. But let's go back a little bit. Liesl may be one of the first female Eagle Scouts coming out of this, but what did she do to get to this point? She started off like many siblings with her brothers, learning a lot about scouting, about the benefits of scouting, the fun that's had during scouting. Of course, it didn't hurt or help, maybe, that Mike was involved heavily in scouting and Cub Scouts. So Liesl had a large exposure to scouting prior to ever doing anything official. As soon as she turned 14, she joined the venturing crew here. She joined a group of about 20 people or so, 17, 18-year-olds. And 17, 18-year-olds are a whole different animal than 14-year-olds. And the fact that it's co-ed also adds its own challenges to it. So she was quiet in the corner during her first few meetings, but definitely interested, definitely kind of soaking in the vibe and everything else. And I remember my daughter, who was the crew president at the time, talking about how she saw positive things with Liesl going forward. And as that group of 17, 18-year-olds moved off and they went into college and did other things, Liesl got more and more involved in the crew program, to the point where she has evolved into our crew president and has done so for a couple of years now. She's never been the kind of person that I've known her, in the time I've known her, she's never been the kind of person to sit back and kind of just let things happen. She always challenges herself. And when Scouting BSA offered up the opportunity for girls to get involved, as Don and Conan have said, she was one of the first ones right there. And her leadership skills that she'd already developed with the venturing crew, and Dasha also filled this role, was set them up with the perfect opportunity to help form this new troop. I will say Conan has probably been one of the most beneficial Girl Scout masters here in the Dayton area, because I don't think any other troop that I'm aware of have had the opportunity to get leadership like Liesl and Dasha involved from the very front. A lot of scout troops, when they first start up, have to have a lot of adult leadership to get them kind of going and then let the youth evolve into it, but not Troop 237. They've had youth leadership since day one. Her drive and her leadership not only allowed her to do this with the girl troop, but it incentivized her to get through all the rank requirements, to get her from Scout to Eagle in the minimal amount of time needed. And in all the scouts that I've worked with over the years, she's gone probably faster than any other scout I've seen from Scout to Eagle in that period of time. I've never seen someone move so quickly through it. And that's a tribute to her drive and her desire to meet these challenges. This quiet, shy girl over here, and none of the border review members that did her Eagle board, she mentioned that she'd been quiet and shy. None of them could believe it because of what she was presenting to them that night. But this quiet, shy girl has turned into a confident young woman who can take a direct leadership role, but she's also very good at leading without being a leader. Servant leadership, as we refer to it in scouting. As a matter of fact, she can pretty much get involved and lead a group of people, and they don't even realize she's the one doing it, because she just has that ability to move people to a point. Some of the scouting programs that have helped her with that have been the National Youth Leadership Training Course, which she's been involved with as a participant, and that's really when I saw her start to change, after she took that course. And she's been on staff for several years since then. She also recently, with everything she knows, she also recently took the Buckskin Adult Training Course when she turned 18, which allows you to teach scout skills. But you know, she's different than many people who've been through that course, myself included. She was actually a youth staff member in that Buckskin course before she ever went and took the course as a participant, because she wanted to check the box of having that on her trail. It wouldn't surprise me to see her take Woods Badge adult leader training here in the near future. Liesl has had a challenge this year, as many of our youth leaders have, in dealing with these trying times and the COVID virus. And one of the things we as adults are responsible for, we're not responsible for leading these organizations. We're there to help our youth leaders lead them. We're just responsible for making sure that the health and safety of all the scouts involved are there. With Liesl and her leading abilities, I have never had to worry about that. She has done an awesome job with people that have so much more experience than she has. She's able to do that same capable leadership. So we've never had to discuss any health and safety decisions. She's always done the right things in that area. So I've got my full confidence and support that she will continue to do that. So now, Liesl, where do you go from here? You've attained Scout's highest rank in Scouts BSA. I hope to see you attain venturing's highest rank here shortly. We've discussed that. And she would be probably the first, she will be the first scout in the Dayton area to do that, if she does, to reach both Eagle Scout and the Venturing Summit Award when she hits that mark. You should be proud of what you've done, and you should take the time to celebrate it and kind of reflect on what you've done. You've talked recently about how exciting this whole process has been, how you have gone to your Eagle Board of Review and how excited you were at that. And let me tell you, that came across to all board members. Many of them said that was one of the best board of reviews they had ever participated in. So you should celebrate it. You should reflect on it. But don't stop. You have never stepped away from a challenge, and you've never faltered in your abilities to accept challenges. And I expect to continue to see you do that. As you finish up high school, as you go into college, and as you go into life, I'm sure you will be always successful at those challenges that you bring upon yourself. Congratulations, Liesl, on meeting your Eagle Scout rank.
if anyone else in the audience would like to come up and share a memory, the mic is yours.
All right, so my name is Mike Goodson. I'm the Assistant Scoutmaster for 236. And I first met Liesl actually when I saw, when my son Jules joined 236, the crew was sort of in that little corner over there. And I saw Ian and Keith talking to this person, and it was Liesl. And then on our first wilderness survival camp out, which is normally in December, Liesl was there as part of the crew to basically help us, to help teach the scouts how to survive in the wilderness. And I don't know if you remember, you were doing you had a kit with you that you'd made yourself, and it had like duct tape and matches and basically everything that would prepare you for going into the wilderness. And that's, for me, typified you. You're so well prepared. And that's the Scout motto, if those of you don't know. And I think that you embody Scouting because of that. I realise why I'm saying this. There's amazing Scouts here, sitting up here as well. But you are what I think of as a Scout when I think of a Scout. And that's amazing. And so I've got two more stories. One is that at the last camp out that 236 did, it was a 10-mile hike, and Mr. Stackhouse didn't have any matches, and I had some in my little box that I'd made because Liesl had taught me how, so I had to keep that with me at all times. So that's just fantastic. And the other thing that I want to say is that I was like a mentor for the Buckskin Trail this year, and when we heard that Liesl was going to be taking the trail, everyone was petrified, because she knows more about scouting than most people do as well. So she wasn't in my patrol, thank goodness. But she is just the embodiment of scouting, and I'm so pleased for you. Congratulations.
Hello, congratulations, Liesl. I'm Wendy Goodson. I am
better half.
Better half. Penny's mom and George's mom, and I just wanted to say that Penny and I kind of came over to the troop from Girl Scouts, and one of the things that we really struggled with in Girl Scouts was the way the girls interacted with one another. Being all the same age, cliques start developing at this age, and it really tore apart our troop. And so when we came over to 237 and started hanging out, I remember one lock-in in particular, where I realized what the difference was between what we had experienced and what we were getting into. And that was typified by Liesl. At this one particular lock-in, there was a girl that was sitting by herself. Everybody else was kind of playing. And Liesl walked over to this girl and included her. And I watched that time after time, by Liesl in particular, but also setting the pace for the whole troop, making sure that everybody was included in what was going on. And so, to me, the parts of the oath that you typify best are that helpful, courteous, kind, really just looking out for everybody else in the troop, making sure they're included. I don't know why I'm getting emotional, but it's just really wonderful to see. So thank you for setting such a good example for the rest of the girls in the troop with that in particular.
Good afternoon. My name is Bill Sewell. I'm the Advancement Chair for the Wright Brothers District. So as a result, I'm in charge of the Eagle Border Reviews for Scouts in the Wright Brothers District. When I first met Liesl, like the rest of you, I didn't get to meet the shy, quiet young lady that you're speaking about. I met a lady that was goal-oriented. She knew what she wanted to do. She knew what time frame she wanted to do it in, and she did it all without a hitch. And very impressive Eagle project. Not only an impressive Eagle project, but when you think about it, to become an Eagle Scout, only about 3% of all the people that join Scouts actually make it to the Eagle rank. And she had to do hers in a condensed time frame, and she not only completed the 21 required merit badges to reach the rank of Eagle, she completed another 10, which is over and beyond what you need to do for the Eagle rank. So I was super impressed with that. Liesl is not only a very strong leader in her troop, she's a very strong leader at her school, at her church, and in her community. Everything that you would expect out of an Eagle Scout. And when it came time to do the Eagle Board Review to get it scheduled, both young ladies came to me and told me that they wanted to do their Eagle Board Reviews on the same evening, and they didn't want the results announced till after the second Eagle Board Review was completed, and they wanted to do that as a group. And I was very impressed with that. There was no first this, first that. There was nothing like that. There was just this first group, and we made the announcement and everything went smooth. I was impressed with just that part of it, that they would want to do it as a group. They'd spent all their scouting years together, and they wanted to complete it out as a group. Eagle Board of Reviews, they're not like the lower ranks. We ask very, very challenging questions. A lot to do with current events, a lot to do with their religious beliefs, their school life, their family life, but all questions that help us determine if they should be elevated to the rank of Eagle. And I included in this particular Eagle Board Review, since it was the initial female Eagle Board Review, I had 2 people off my advancement group. I had another person that I included that we use here at Troop 236 quite a bit. All of them with over probably 150 plus Eagle Boards that they'd previously done. At the end of both Eagle Board Reviews, everyone agreed that this was one of the more impressive Eagle Board Reviews they had ever participated in. And that's saying something from somebody that's been through hundreds of Eagle Board Reviews. And I was impressed with that, just impressed with Liesl and Marie Carter all around. Liesl Marie Carter, in my mind, is an Eagle Scout in every sense of the word. And I'm very proud and very honored to have worked with her in my time frame. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon. My name is Larry Hodap, and I'm president of our Miami Valley Council. And I know for some it was a challenge in their mind with young women coming into scouting, but I thought it was a tremendous opportunity to share what scouting has been with all the young men in the world, and now to share it with the young women and give them an opportunity to become Eagle Scouts and experience the full part of scouting. Venturing has been there, but it's a little different than scouting, and I was anxious for this process to get flowing. I think it's been a tremendous tribute to Liesl and the Scouts of 237. They have done a tremendous job of creating their own unit, creating their own identity, creating scouting for them that's different from what their brothers are experiencing or in 236 or other scout units. And it's been a great honor and exciting again for me to see this first class of women, young women, become Eagle Scouts. And from the council, we are very excited when this day, a magic day of February 8th comes around, and the first class will officially become Eagle Scouts. And congratulations. As everyone has said, it's been exciting to watch Liesl, the leader that she is, and what she's done, and the inspiration she is for all the members of her troop. So again, congratulations.
So, I met Liesl, be one all. I'm 3 to 4 years older than me. But when Liesl joined the crew, I realized that like I could have a friend in scouting, and Liesl was that friend and always will be that friend in scouting. So, thank you.
Dasha. I'm William Sangre. I'm the committee chair for 237. A year, 18 months ago, not quite 2 years ago, somewhere in there, Conan asked me if I'd take this job on as he was helping organize 237. I've had the opportunity to sit in on every board up until the Eagle board. Bill did the Eagle board, but I did all the other boards for both Dasha and Liesl, and they're both very impressive young ladies. And I've been a scout leader for 30 years, I think it's about 30 years, long time. And I'm very impressed with what they've done, not just for themselves, but their interest in taking in this whole idea of scouting and sharing it with young ladies. Their futures are very bright. But 237's future is also very bright because the groundwork has been laid. We told them a year ago February, when we started this troop, that a lot of the leadership was going to fall on them because they were coming out of Scott's Venture Crew, and that they knew how to lead, and we needed them to help the troop get started, and they stepped up in spades. They just blew us away with what they could do. And as a lot of people have said, this is a scout troop. This is run like a scout troop. It's led by the youth. And that's an incredible testament when you think about it. This is the second time I have helped start a troop. The leadership that you get from those few older scouts who are willing to take the risk and join a new scout troop, that's how it either succeeds or fails. So I am so pleased to be up here to congratulate you and Dasha as the first 2 Eagles from 237. And I know that there are other young ladies in this room who I'm going to be able to sit up at a podium at some point in the next couple of years and say the same thing. But these 2, these founders, you blazed the trail. Congratulations to both of you. Well done.
My name is John Miller. I'm the Miami Valley Council Training Chair and past course director for NYLT. For those that don't know what NYLT is, it's National Youth Leadership Training. It's a program where youth teach youth leadership. And the growth that is experienced during 1 week is absolutely amazing because of that peer interaction. I met Liesl and Dasha when they decided to take the course. Both very impressive young women, very involved, very eager to learn. And it was a no-brainer that both of them would be asked to come back on staff. Unfortunately, Dasha wasn't able to. We hope that in the future she will be able to. We'd love to have her on staff again. However, Liesl stepped up and joined the ranks. And this next course in 2021, Liesl will be our senior patrol leader. An awesome step. As everybody said, she's mature beyond her years, and we're looking for some very exciting things from her in the future. Congratulations.
I'm Charlie Goodwin, or better known as Doc. I've got 50 years in scouting, 35 with this troop. And so that in these years, I recognize a natural leader. And I've not had the opportunity to work with 237 particularly, but I have seen what Liesl has done with the Order of the Arrow, and I've seen what she's done with summer camp staff. She's just a born leader. And as I say, you know, in all my years, you don't fool me very often. I think she I had the privilege of being on the board of review for Liesl and Dasha, and both of them did just an outstanding job. So, Liesl, I think for you, the future is bright. You're going you may be president one day, Lord, I hope so. So best wishes to you.
So, for those of you who don't know, I'm Liesl's brother, and I prepared a little speech for her. I'm Keith, sorry. So, when we were in Cub Scouts, Liesl was always the tag-along sister who tried to be everyone in every way possible. Even though she wasn't in Scout, she had more fun than the rest of us. But as Ian and I moved on to Boy Scouts, she was left in the dust with Mom. But then she found fishing, and you could tell the spark in her eye whenever she had a meeting. Liesl taught me that you didn't have to be a certain gender to have fun or be a part of something. When girls were allowed in Scouts, and she took this as another way to get even with us. So we slowly watched her as she got rank after rank, even staying up until 2 a.m. just to do rank requirements. She was doing so many merit badges that I hopped along for some of them, but almost every time she surpassed me. She didn't just do this to fit in with us, but she did this to stand out. She worked hard, had fun, and that's what really mattered. I think of most everyone, she is the most deserving of Eagle. Liesl had taught me to work hard and to have most fun and don't let anything act in your way. So I challenge you all, find someone in your life and you can too learn something valuable.
Hello everyone, my name is Ian Carter and I am Liesl's brother as well. I'm the middle child. But as Keith said, she was the tag-along sister and she got to do venturing and all that. But one of the most memorable things, you know what I mean, was when Liesl and I went to NYLT together. We went to NYLT, what was it, 2017? Yes, 2017. And of course we were in different patrols and all that, but we were always able to go to each other and talk to each other. And we always could like share little secrets here and there and here and there. And one of the coolest things was coming back on staff the next year, and then the year after that, and this year. Yeah, so it's always been cool because we've always had this bond, and we're able to talk to each other about everything. We've commonly been misinterpreted as boyfriend and girlfriend. Shout out to Jesse. Because we're always around each other and talking to each other. But of course, everyone feels bad when we say we're siblings. One of the coolest things was, it was almost like we were twins. During one of the staff developments for NYLT, we were playing Frisbee. And it was like a keep away kind of thing. It was like Liesl and I against the rest of the staff. And we could just like look in each other's eyes and know what the other person was doing. And it got to a certain point where it was just us passing in the field because no one else wanted to play with us. So she's always been this amazing person that even though she wasn't necessarily in Scouts originally, I always looked up to because she was still earning the venturing awards, right? The venturing awards and always looking to do that next opportunity and go to the next thing. So congratulations. Last call. All right, next we have the presentation of the Eagle with Mr. Crocker.
the Eagle Award is bestowed upon you, can Mike and Louise please join your daughter? You can join them. The time has finally come, and the honor of pinning your eagle on your uniform rightly falls to the persons most responsible for your being here, your parents. Liesl, Carter, we are finally at that point you've been waiting for. It is now time to formally present this high badge of accomplishment. It is my privilege and pleasure to pronounce you as an Eagle Scout. These pesky little in recognition, in recognition of fatherly advice and guidance along the trail to Eagle, I'll ask this Eagle Scout's father now to present to his daughter the Eagle Scout certificate and personal letter of commendation from the Chief Scout Executive of Scouts BSA. As the symbol of what your mother has made possible, the court will now ask this eagle to present her mother with the Eagle Mother's pin. As a symbol of what her father has made possible, the court will now ask this eagle to present her father with the Eagle Father's pin. May I congratulate you again, and may I remind you that scouting should now become an even greater tie between the daughter and parents, binding you even more closely as a family. To you, Eagle Scout Liesl Carter, I express confidence that you will honor scouting with your life and service as today's scouting honors you.
So the next thing is mentor pins. I have 2 mentor pins I'd like to give out today. Mr. Crocker, I know you just sat down, but can you please come forward again? So, Mr. Crocker, if it weren't for his help, I would not be an Eagle Scout today. He was the one who started our troop, and he's been a role model for me the whole time. His passion for scouting really shows. He loves the troop, and he really wants it to go well, and so he's just been such a great person to go to, and such a great person to be a Scoutmaster. Could not have been blessed with a better Scoutmaster than him. Your love for the outdoors and the environment is very inspiring, and I've learned from your teaching style how to become a leader myself and a teacher. You're always encouraging us to, be youth-led and teach the other girls, and that's given me some of my greatest memories. I absolutely love helping people. And I also like how you always are there to allow us to have fun. Like the one time when you allowed us to roll a muddy tire through a trail for a mile so that we could properly dispose of it instead of leaving it in the middle of the park. I really like, just your enthusiasm, just for everything we do. And some people may think that I came into this program knowing everything, but that's far from it. You've been there and you've taught me so much more than the Scout book could ever teach. Everything from cooking techniques to expanding on first aid methods. You've always been there for me, and I really want to thank you, so I'm giving you this mentor pin.
Thank you very much.
And my other mentor pin goes to the person who's been with me since day one, quite literally. Mom. So when I first joined the troop, it was kind of interesting because Dad was always involved with the boys, and so was Mom, who was willing to volunteer and help me. And oh my goodness, being like senior patrol leader comes with a lot of stress and responsibilities. And I am just so thankful for you and all the help you've done. She was always there on the car rides home. I could just rant about something that I was confused on, or just trying to talk through a problem to find solutions. I would always go to you for advice because I knew you'd always be there. And I was just so glad that I had a parent that was so involved in scouting and that really wanted me to become the scout I am today, and just become the person I am today. So I really want to thank you and give you this mentor pin.
Would Mr. Cizil please come forward for the Eagle Charge?
I'll ask any Eagle Scouts in attendance to stand and administer the oath with me, or not the oath, the charge. Oh, the oath, yeah.
That too.
We'll get there. The Scouts of all nations constitute one of the most meaningful and significant movements in the world's history. You have been judged by the Scouts PSA as being worthy of this honor. As an Eagle Scout, you have assumed a solemn obligation to do your duty to God, to country, and your fellow Scouts, and to mankind in general. This is a great undertaking. As you live up to your obligations, you bring honor to yourself and to your fellow Scouts. I charge you to undertake your citizenship with solemn dedication. Be a leader, but lead only toward the best. Lift up every task you do and every office you hold to the highest level of service to God and to your fellow man. So live and serve that those who know you will be inspired to finer living. I charge you to be among those who dedicate their skills and ability to the common good. I will now ask all the Eagles to make the Scout sign and repeat after me. I realize my obligation.
I realize my obligation.
To my fellow man, my home.
To my fellow man, my home.
My country and my God.
My country and my God.
I will at all times do my best.
I will at all times do my best.
To assist others.
To assist others.
To live with honor, loyalty. Courage and service.
Courage and service.
And to be a living example.
And be a living example.
Of the Scout oath and law.
Of the Scout oath and law.
To the best of my ability.
To the best of my ability.
2. Your conduct along the trail has been excellent. But one more thing is important, your future. As an Eagle Scout, you become a guide to other Scouts. You become an example in your community. Remember that your actions are now a little more conspicuous and people will expect more of you. To falter in your responsibility would reflect not only on you, but on your fellow Eagles and all of Scouting. The torch you carry is not only yours, but is also ours. Congratulations, Liesl.
Thank
you. Mike and Louise, please come forward to say a few words.
So first of all, we
very much like to say thank you to everybody for coming, and for those who were here yesterday, coming back again today after Eagles Court of Honor yesterday. Thank you. And thanks to the folks joining us online as well, and came in for helping us on the technical aspect. Scouting's become definitely a family journey, as evidenced by the uniforms you see here. We did have an idea of where we were going when Liesl joined, but it was a whole other idea than having, 5th grade 11-year-olds come in at short time frame. February 1st, 2019 to October 2nd, 2020 is the time that Liesl had to work on her Eagle. It takes a village to raise a child. It takes a scouting village to raise these guys, and so many of you are mentors, teachers, role models, examples. So again, just too many to specifically call out, but there's a few I want to make sure to mention. Our council president, our chartered organization rep, Larry Hodap, with the troop, Conan and Allison Crocker, William Sangray, Don Morrison especially, with the crew, Scott and Barr back there, what they've gotten out of NYLT with John Miller and that crew, Tim Reichert. They're also active members in the Order of the Arrow. Thanks for Drew for kind of leading that effort and giving them a mentoring on a different role. And Doc's not in 237, but he still has a role in all our lives, so thank you as well. Thank to all of you from the bottom of our hearts.
So to add to those things a little bit, as a female engineer, I know what it's like to sometimes be in the room with all males, and not always accepted. And so when females were invited to Scouts BSA, I really wondered what it was going to be like with Liesl, and just kind of hoped that things would go well. And my worries were totally unfounded. Basically, every scouter we ran into did more than just accept Liesl and the other girls. They've gone out of their way to help them be successful and everything. So I really appreciate that and want to thank everyone for doing that. So turning to Liesl, out of necessity, her journey was fast-paced, as we've talked about. But as I've watched her through that journey, she savored every experience and looked to see what she could get out of it. From the founding of Troop 237 to being involved in venturing, as soon as she could, wanting to be in the Order of the Arrow, and then taking on leadership positions, the National Youth Leadership Training, and of course summer camp. Attending and then no, I want to, before she finished that week, can I be staff? And spending the rest of the summer being staff. A favorite memory of mine comes from NYLT. I really was sort of one of those side parents in scouting, with Mike mostly doing it. And they just needed some females to stay the night so that they could have some females on the youth staff. And it might have been the second year Liesl was on staff, and I had the opportunity to join the opening campfire. And as many people have mentioned before, Liesl was on the little more reserved side, a little bit quiet. And there was my quiet little girl standing up in front of the crowd doing the Oreo cookie song. We share that reserved personality a little bit. It took me a long time to get to the point where I could get up in front of a crowd like this. Still not the thing that's most comfortable, but I learned that. It took me a long time, but through scouting, she's had the opportunity to learn that as a teenager. So in salute to you, Liesl. Oreo, Oreo, Oreo cookie!
proud of who you are. Not just an Eagle Scout, but everything you are. A couple of weeks ago, Ian was being inducted into the National Honor Society. And as one of the officers, Liesl was asked to give the talk on leadership. She managed to include humor, talking about Dora the Explorer. And then she included the leading edge, which many of you Scouters will know. I know she's going to take Scouting wherever she goes and take her Eagle experience with her. I'm super proud of you. Congratulations.
Her turn today.
Very unexpected. So as many of you know, being an Eagle Scout is beyond my wildest dreams. I never imagined just being able to call myself an Eagle Scout. And so when I first heard rumors that, Boy Scouts was opening up to girls, I was like, dang, I'm gonna be too old, and the idea of Eagle was just still beyond my grasp. But everything happened so quickly. I was just old enough to have the experiences you guys have all heard, to be a leader and to have the diligence to work to reach Eagle under my strict timeline. But I was also just young enough to be able to join as a youth and have the opportunity to go for Eagle. And I am so grateful for all the things that provided a strong foundation for me to be able to do this. Venturing, that was my first experience into real scouting, and that introduced me to the troop so that I could lay my foundation and everything with that. And with venturing, I was able to meet Dasha and have her as a friend my age in scouting, which is something that is kind of uncommon to find, but I'm very glad for that. Dasha and I have gone through everything together, and I could not have been more blessed to have a friend my age to be able to, do all this fun stuff with. I believe it was back in the summer of 2018. We went to West Virginia for Venture Fest, where just a bunch of scouts from all over the country come together and just celebrate scouting. And it was so good to have Dasha there because none of my family was there, and so kind of being nervous and everything. And we had a blast. We learned this card game called Kemps. I'm sorry for kicking you, Dasha. But, we just had such an amazing time. And I know that she'll be a lifelong scouting friend with me. And she was able to help me with this new troop, help get started, because we could do it together. Another thing that provided such a strong foundation for me was National Youth Leadership Training, NYLT. As everyone was saying earlier, I was more reserved. But NYLT enabled me with the confidence and the courage to become a leader. They got me willing to sing songs, which helped me entertain and engage my troop. I never thought that I would ever go in front of 60 people and just belt out the Oreo cookie song, but I did it. Mom did it too. So having a good foundation is part of it, but the other huge factor is all the support I've been given. When I first started and I was first involved, every single meeting, adults would come up to me, by the dozen, just saying, is there anything I can do to help? How can I help your journey go along? Every single meeting. And that was something that really impacted me and really helped me go everywhere. If I ever had if I needed to work on any merit badges or had any problems, there would always be people who were willing to go out of their day to help me. And I want to thank all of you for doing that. The other thing, when I was working at summer camp, I was trying to get some merit badges done, and everyone there at summer camp especially was super open to helping me finish some merit badges, especially because I was staffing, so I had some extra time. I ended up doing citizenship in the nation while waiting in line for dinner and lunch and all the other meals. And then I ended up finishing up in Biocide while washing dishes and cleaning up after a meal. So I've had some really good experiences of people just, going out of their way and helping me. And scouting has been so great, such a great experience. My friends will tell you every single day, on Monday, when I come into school, I'm always talking about the last camp out we went on, or all the things we did, just because I love scouting so much, and I'm so grateful for all the experiences it's given me. It's also good to share these experiences with some of the girls. Our first big camp out was summer camp, that first summer camp. And we still talk about it all the time. Everything from getting Mr. Morrison's van stuck in the mud to having a funeral for Carl the fish. And of course, at the award ceremony at the very end, the guy who I was at his station every single day of the week, but when he called me up for the award, he said, "Leslie." Yeah, that stuck around. What's really been great with the troop is kind of having the feeling of being looked up to. It's something that's really encouraged me to want to grow myself as a leader and want to continue being a leader. I've learned that the best type of leadership is being a leader while also being one of the gang. I love doing all the activities with them because, I like to be one of them. I don't want to seem like the person who's just older, so I don't want to feel like the adult. I want to feel like one of the gang. And I really appreciate all of you guys in the troop for helping make me feel included. Another thing that I really liked about scouting is every single scouting event I go to, I always know a bunch of people there. And that is such a cool experience, just being able to know so many people and have so many people know you. Recently we had the 100th camporee, and as we were walking to go to the show, just about every single troop we passed, I recognized someone. And that was just so incredible, just being able to know and just looking here at just a small handful of the amount of people I've met in scouting. These are people who have made an impact in my life and have inspired me. So scouting has made me into the person who I've become. It's given me so many experiences that I'm going to carry with me for the rest of my life. You better bet I'm not stopping here. I'm going to keep going on with scouting because all I want to do is give back to the organization that's given so much to me. Scouting has given me so many tools that I'm going to use later in life, in college, in the future. And so I wish everyone could get this experience. So I really want to thank the Crockers. Thank you so much for starting this troop. It has meant the world to me. And I want to thank you to 236, Mr. Stackhouse and Mrs. Geyer, for helping give us the starting foundation. And for 236, for helping get our troop off the ground. And NYLT, OA, Buckskin Wood Badge, and all the other programs that introduced me to some of the greatest people that have helped me and inspired me all along the journey. I want to thank all the scouts who I've met along the way and all the friends who have supported me in this journey. I want to thank my brothers for paving the way and always being there and encouraging me to have fun with them. And I want to thank you, Mom and Dad, for always being there and allowing me to do this. You have all meant the world to me, and I really want to thank you for that. Thank you.
So, we're about to conclude this ceremony, but in the back we have refreshments. So, if you would like to grab a refreshment and go, Liesl will be at the back exit to, you can say congrats and talk with her for a bit. Or you can grab refreshments and come back to your seat, and Liesl will be walking around to talk to you guys. All right, so Keith, can I please have you for the benediction?
Please prepare yourself in a manner which you're accustomed. Great Scoutmaster, we thank you for the opportunity to come together for this special day in Liesl's life. We thank you for everyone who helped support and guide Liesl on her Eagle Trail. Take care of them during these challenging times. Please help Liesl to live up to the honor and responsibility and expectation that this Eagle Award represents. As we leave this celebration, we ask you to strengthen Liesl and all of us for the challenge we face to live lives filled with character, persistence, courage, loyalty, cheerfulness, service, and setting an example for others. Amen.
Can everyone please stand for the retiring of the colors? Scout attention. Color guard form. Color guard advance. Color guard, prepare to retire the colors. Scout right hand salute, retire the colors. Color guard retreat. Two, color guard dismissed. Everyone at ease.